Thank you, Chair. Good afternoon, General. General, if there's one thing that you have done exceptionally well during your responses and during the course of your testimony is that you have been making a concession to knowing all the people that are perceived to be rogue and who are perceived to be having questionable characters. I think in that context, I must commend you that to say you have not been evasive. You have agreed that you know them. But as a police officer, are you not aware that you are easily accessible by people who have questionable characters? Is that not a concern to you?
Chair, I think if you meet a person or you come across a person who at this point in time, you don't know that this person has got questionable characters or issues that were not really evident from the onset. Like any other normal South Africans, you don't know this person, but later you come to know that this person, this name comes. This thing again, this name comes. That's when you begin to raise your eyebrows and begin to step back. I think it happens naturally that you will meet a person that you think is innocent, is clean, but later you find out about the rest.
No, but even that response is worrisome, General, because you are a police officer. You don't just mingle with anyone. You have an integrity and a credibility to protect. Before you mingle with people, you first investigate their characters. Are you an irresponsible police officer that just mingles with anyone without checking the credibility of such people?
I don't think it's fair, General Chair, that every person that I meet, I must investigate. You do meet people, and you won't have capacity to really conduct a background check on anybody that you meet.
So it means I must be worried, General, that you can come to my village and mingle with criminals and later come and say you did not know their character. So that is the kind of a police officer, the national deputy commissioner we have in South Africa, who just mingles with people and later come and say, no, I did not know their character.
I think, Chair, I've met 98%, that is good. But if it happens that you met one or two characters that are actually questionable, cannot take the whole credibility away from me because I spoke to somebody. It happens with all of the police officials, senior managers, ministers, even presidents. It's that you find yourself having spoken to somebody, later that person found himself in trouble. But that shouldn't be brought to your doorstep.
No, but the fact of the matter is that you are a police officer and not just an ordinary police officer. You are a general. You are the National Deputy Commissioner. For you to have a relationship with people who have questionable characters can never be justified.
It is not correct to say I have a relationship with them as if they were my friends. They were not my friends to an extent that it can be called a relationship with criminals. It's not correct.
But General, when we asked you about the relationship with Brown Mokgotsi, I think the question was asked by Honorable Nwala. You said he was asking if you are still speaking, if you are speaking with Brown Mokgotsi. You said you are speaking with him. And he further asked if you are speaking on police issues. You said, no, we are speaking on general issues. What do you mean by general?
If you remember very well, Chair, I said that my relationship or how I got to speak to Brown. He gave me information, valuable information that according to me was valuable to me.
No, but you are contradicting yourself. Remember, you said the information that he gave to you was already in your possession.
Yes.
So how can something that you know be valuable when it comes for the second time? I know that I'm Sibonelo Nomvalo. If you come and tell me that something that I know, it can't be valuable.
Chair, no matter how much you stretch it, the bottom line is, I say I met Brown and he gave me information that I needed, although it was confirming something that I knew, and I see nothing wrong in that regard.
But how can something that you already knew be valuable?
Up until I meet him, I would then here take it from there.
Let's go to Kat Matlala. Is it true that Kat Matlala paid an amount of 2 million towards the purchase of your plot in St. Kieran in Pretoria?
I don't know, because my plot is procured, is bought through the bank, and there's no 2 million that was paid.
So it's not true.
It's not true.
You said Kat came to your office to discuss about the tender. Did I hear you correctly?
No, you didn't hear me correctly.
Where did you meet up?
I said he came to the office to discuss the issue of the fact that he's been awarded the tender, and then he's got a lease agreement to do to occupy the facility, and then he was not being allowed to occupy the facility. This is the meeting that was intended for the National Commissioner, but the National Commissioner was not there. I was the one acting.
Yeah, but that is what I was saying as well. Now, did you see it appropriate to meet a service provider?
I meet everybody. Even if he's a service provider, he is a stakeholder, but at that time in his capacity, he was more of a complainant.
Who signed his appointment letter? A letter that was appointing him to work for the department.
I don't know whether it's the National Commissioner or supply chain, but I was not part thereof.
Now, why did he not refer that concern to them?
He came
because they are the ones, General. I see a general who's all over the place here, meeting business people. They are the ones who appointed him to work for the department, not you. They are the ones who signed the appointment letter. How does it get to you to speak about a tender?
I don't think it's correct to say to speak about the tender.
Let me just do like this. Honorable Nomvalo, let's go easy on the general. When I say easy, I don't mean you must not be robust. You can be robust in any way. But I plead that we give the general a breathing space.
No problem, Chair.
Thank you.
Point taken. You can respond, General.
Repeat the question, please.
I was asking, how does a service provider, how do they get access to you in the first place? To come and discuss about technicalities that they are faced with after they have been appointed.
I think
does it feel in your competence to attend to such issues?
It doesn't feel within my competency as the head of crime detection, but when you are the National Commissioner's post, you deal with everything in the police, and I was acting as the National Commissioner.
Do you know Bonana Ngwenya? Who is the former Ngwenya?
Hey, we have one. You nearly collapsed, dude.
No, we can turn him into a witness. Do you know Mr. Ngwenya, who's the former Deputy National Commissioner?
I know her.
What is your relationship with her?
The mother of my child?
Where does she work currently?
I'm not sure.
Did she ever work for a company of Vusmuzu Cat Matlala?
Not at all.
She has never worked for it.
Not at all.
Okay. Let's go to the disbandment of the EKTT. You know where my concern is?
Just hold it, the Honorable Nomvalo. General, you say the person is in question is the mother of your child, and you don't know where she works.
Yes.
Okay.
She's the one who was actually at some point who lost her job. So I don't know where she's working.
Oh, okay.
She doesn't live with me.
Okay. But you, okay, no, it's fine. Let me leave it there.
Can I proceed, Chair?
Yes, you can proceed.
Now, you know where my major problem is, General, with regards to your involvement in the disbandment of the political killings task team, is that you were never involved in its operations.
Correct.
Neither did it send any report to you.
Correct.
You have already said that the PKTT was doing a sterling job. During its operation before the disbandment.
I said they were doing a good job, but it could be better than what they're doing.
So they were doing a good job.
But it could be better than what they're doing.
You further said that the reason why they were disbanded is because the budget was not enough. You even cited remarks that were made by the treasurer, by the CFO, I mean, correct?
No, I don't remember saying they were disbanded because the budget was not.
No, I'm saying part of the reasons why they were disbanded.
Yes.
It's because there was no money that could sustain them.
Yes.
But that is not in accordance with the letter of the minister.
Well, I cannot question that part. That is not what the minister said. I didn't dictate nor contribute to what the minister wrote.
No, but General Sibiya, the minister wrote a letter disbanding the task team. You came before this committee and justified his actions. You even quoted what was said by the CFO. You were not just talking for the sake of talking. When you said there was no money to sustain the task team, you were actually supporting the reasons for its disbandment.
Even now, I'm still supporting that, Chair.
Yes, but I'm saying that is not in accordance with what the minister said. The minister never said there was no money in his letter.
I understand that.
The minister, the only reason the minister why he disbanded the team on Annexure CB2, paragraph 53, the minister says, open quote, "My observation in this regard, as indicated above, is that further existence of this team is no longer required, nor is it adding any value to policing in South Africa."
Yes.
Now, should we agree that your perspective is not similar to that of the minister?
I wouldn't say it's not similar. They go hand in hand.
No, remember, General Sibiya, I asked you if the task team was doing a sterling job. You said yes. The view of the minister, when something is of no value, it means that thing is useless. The view of the minister at this stage is that the task team is useless. You further said, no, I'll give you a chance to respond. You further said the CFO indicated financial concerns. So there was no money to sustain the team. So your reasons are not the same.
Remember, I have given more reasons. The minister may not have written all the reasons, or may actually summarize all the reasons in one sentence. But in my case, let me read you this letter from the National Commissioner statement.
No, before we go to let's finish the minister and your version first. I will allow you to read the commissioner statement. The point here that I'm making, General, is that because there is nowhere where we can find the views of the minister in this regard, except in the letter. And we can't quote things we do not know, because the minister will come here and say, but I never said that. What I said is here in the letter. Your reasons are not similar to that of the minister. Why is it so difficult to accept that?
Remember, we don't have different reasons to disband. The minister gave a directive which has been complied upon by all. What I motivated myself comes from me, not from
exactly my point.
Yes, and yes. The two are not in competition.
No, they are not, absolutely.
Yes.
But they are not different. Your motivation and his reason.
Yes.
Exactly. Why is it difficult to accept that? Now, your participation in the disbandment starts after the 31st of December, when the National Commissioner was on leave. You keep on citing the name, the National Commissioner, not the name, to say he is the one who gave instructions to do the implementation plan and so on and so forth. But the minister the commissioner that we're talking about here, who refuses that, he accepted this decision, General Masemula. There is absolutely nothing that points to a direction of his acceptance of this decision.
To the contrary, the National Commissioner saying in his statement, and a sworn statement at the Madlanga Commission, he says, since the letter required a report to be prepared by the 20th of January 2025, and given that I would be on leave until the 14th of January 2025, I instructed Brigadier Letogo of my office to forward the letter from the minister to all Deputy National Commissioners, including Lieutenant General Sibiya, Deputy National Commissioner Crime Detection, to instruct them to prepare the necessary report. My intention was to discuss the matter with the minister to understand his reasons and attempt to dissuade him. However, the letter contained an instruction to prepare a report that were due by 20 January 2025. If I had refused to carry out this instruction, I would have been accused of insubordination, since all that was required, at least insofar as the instruction was concerned, was a report. So now this says, or this tells us that the National Commissioner agreed and he complied with, because had he not done that, he would have been he was going to be accused of insubordination. So the minister, the National Commissioner, for all intents and purposes, he agreed.
No, but you were drawing an inference that he agreed, because you started to make a reference to a January letter, email rather, that was sent from his office by the Chief of Staff. At that time, the commissioner was on leave, right?
Yes.
There was an acting commissioner.
Correct.
So by the time the National Commissioner came, processes of disbanding, leave the implementation apart, because that is another phase. Disbanding is a phase on its own. You can't use what happened on phase 2 to clarify what happened on phase 1. Are you aware of a process that unfolded during the disbandment of the PKK before we go to January?
Yes, I'm aware.
How was it disbanded?
The process that was followed that I know of is the letter that was received from the minister on the 31st of December that was sent to the office of the National Commissioner, and the National Commissioner further forwarding that same letter to my office with a directive that I must communicate same to the team. And the team also started reacting or acting on that, leading to a presentation that was presented before Parliament. And before Parliament, this is where they explained that the test team has achieved the purpose for which it was intended for. All the districts in KZN have stabilized except the eThekwini district. And as a result, we are now going to be phasing out. And in phasing out, we'll start 3 phases. The first phase being to deliver the dockets by the 17th of March. And that happened. And as a result, by the 28th of June, of March, a handing over was done between the 2 divisional commissioners. General Khumalo is the one who went and fetched the docket, handed them over to General Sintumule, as per the arrangement. And then from there, from General Sintumule handed them to General Motsepe. They conducted an inspection, and General Motsepe, they attempted to return the cases to General the Provincial Commissioner, General Mkonazi, who rejected the docket. The docket found themselves back at head office. But that's the process of disbandment.
Chair, I don't want to be accused of not allowing the witness to respond, but the witness has not done justice to my question, and I hope you were paying attention. The question that I asked from the witness is, what is a process that was followed before the letter was issued on the 31st of December? Now it tells me about what happened after the 31st of December. I'm talking about processes that unfolded before the minister took a decision to disband the team.
Yeah, I give you free airtime for General Sibiya to respond to the question.
The process before that, there was a letter that was received from the members of the community who complained to Professor Mary Dihas of the University of KZN. Professor Mary Dihas forwarded the complaints of members of the public to Parliament and to the minister. And the minister also discussed the process in a management meeting where they consulted with the management in general. It is in this meeting where General Masemola actually intimated that the task team, this was just a task team. It was not meant to be a permanent unit, to an extent that it was meant to evolve into a unit. As a result, it is not in the structure of the police, and yes, it can be done. So the National Commissioner was consulted and all other senior managers, and he never actually showed he never showed to be against the disbandment. And as a result, the process started.
Okay, so General, we are saying here on record under oath that before the decision was taken, because the National Commissioner said the decision was taken while he was on leave in December and he came back in January. So you are saying here under oath, the National Commissioner was consulted prior to the disbandment of the team. Is that what we are saying?
I'm saying that, Chair, is what I'm repeating here on record under oath, that there was a meeting that was held on the 27th of November, where consultations were made with all stakeholders or all relevant in the presence of the National Commissioner, and the National Commissioner did say that this is just a task team, it was not a permanent structure, and it was meant to evolve into a unit, and it can be done. And starting from then, that's how everything unfolded.
Was Khumalo, who was a project manager?
Before you got the honorable member, because the general mentions the name of Miss Dihas. as part of the response. What do you say about Ms. De Haas?
Professor Mary De Haas wrote a letter to Parliament. I want to get to the correspondence, Chair, and it's very much important that we don't leave it out because it is what happened. Professor Mary De Haas wrote a letter to Cabinet. Do we know which 93? 93. Now, Chair, I've got a trailing email between the offices of Ms. Mtembu of SAPS, sent to Major General Sibonelo, and then leading to, now when you go to page 96 of the bundle. Chair, will you allow me to read the statement from the members of the complaints that were sent to Professor Mary De Haas, and then Professor Mary De Haas document.
Can I come in as a person who asked the question?
Yeah.
I'm really not interested in the substance. I just wanted to know if the complaint is there.
Okay.
I'm satisfied if the complaint is there. I can move on.
Thank you. You can then go to the question on General Kumar.
Now, the question is, do you see it appropriate to disband a structure without asking for a report from the project manager? General?
No, I'm not stuck. I'm just saying, the question is, do you see it appropriate without requesting for a report from the...
No, I can repeat for you, General.
No, I hear what you say. The answer is very simple. The instruction as it came from the National Commissioner, it said, prepare a close-up report, communicate the same to the team, and prepare a close-up report.
No, General, that's why I wanted to repeat for you, because we are not answering my question. Prepare for a close-out report is in a letter that disbands the task team. I am talking about a process that was supposed to unfold before the disbandment was effected. Do you see it appropriate to disband a structure without getting a report before you disband from a person who was tasked to be a project manager?
Chair, please protect me here, because I'm going to answer the same question. The instruction from the National Commissioner says, DNC, as directed, you are requested to communicate the same to the team and to prepare a close-up report by the 14th of January, and for the minister to get this on the 20th. Now, the close-up report is exactly what the honorable member is talking about, because the close-up report, the only people who can prepare a close-up report is General Khumalo. Even when you go to the meeting on the 6th of March, where General Khumalo presented before the minister, and when you look at the very last sentence, paragraph in the action plan that is actually produced by him, it says prepare the close-up report by the 31st of March. General Kumar, who is the project manager?
Chair?
Yeah.
Can I clarify my question? Maybe you will assist me
No,
with
you-
interpreting it
You
to the
don't have to
witness.
clarify, General Sibiya.
Yes.
If a member asks you one question 3 or 4 times, you have the same answer. You just give the same answer. Yeah.
Okay.
No, Chair, I think you are making a mistake now because you are prescribing how he should answer.
No.
And
I'm responding to the point that you are saying he needs protection.
I am the one who needs protection here, Chair, because my question has not been responded to. That is why I'm saying, Chair, it means we are not following my questioning. The question before the general is, was the project manager consulted before the decision was taken to disband the structure? Now he says in a letter, and the letter that he talks about is a letter that disbands the structure. He says in that letter, and I agree, I've read the letter, and what he's talking about is the last paragraph of that letter after the decision to disband has been communicated on the above paragraph. Now he says in that letter, the minister says, prepare a closeout report. The questioning I'm asking, Chair, is a question that relates to a consultative process prior to making a decision, prior to arriving to a conclusion that indeed there is a need to disband the structure.
I agree with you. After you asked him a question, he appealed to me to protect him.
But I also appeal to you to protect me, Chair.
Okay, let me protect both of you. Both of you are protected. I'm leveling the playing fields. Can you please restate the question and we hear what his response is?
Should I rephrase?
Restate it.
Okay. My question generally is, before the decision was taken on the 31st of December, in a letter that was signed by the minister. In that letter, the minister disbands. In the same letter, he says, prepare a closeout report. So that is after the disbandment. Prepare a closeout report after the disbandment. Now the question is, prior to the disbandment, was a project manager consulted in order for the minister to arrive to a determination that there was a need to disband the task team?
That is a response that can be provided by the minister and the national commissioner.
At least that response is better than the first one, Chair. Was General Nhlanhla disbanded? Informed?
I don't know.
The provincial commissioner?
I don't know.
Should we not be worried here, General, that you become so active in executing a wrong decision? Because you came after the decision was taken, and the manner in which the decision was taken was wrong because due processes were not followed. Should we not be worried?
I don't think so. The same way the National Commissioner mentioned in his statement here that had he not carried out the instruction, was going to be disciplined for insubordination. Now, in this case, if it is the Office of the National Commissioner that invites me into the process, there's no way I could not participate after being ordered by the Office of the National Commissioner to participate. I didn't jump in on my own. I was invited in and directed by the Office of the National Commissioner.
May you please be specific that at that time when that instruction was given, the National Commissioner was on leave. So in office, there was an acting National Commissioner.
Chair, I don't know if I'm allowed to respond like this. That doesn't change anything. If the National Commissioner is on leave, as the National Commissioner of the South African Police Service, he remains responsible and accountable. And if there's an acting National Commissioner, has got the powers to carry the mandate of the National Commissioner. But the bottom line is, there's a letter that come from or out of the office of the National Commissioner directing the Deputy National Commissioner to act. Now, that on its own, it's a complete instruction.
So according to your logic, General, it's permissible for a person to give instructions while he's on leave, while there's someone acting in their office.
It happens.
Then why people are acting if a person can do the work while they're at home?
It happens. If you are the National Commissioner and you think of something that you want happened, you will give an instruction and it will be complied with. Nobody will say no, but you are on leave. You can't tell us anything.
So are you not worried, General, that there is nothing written or signed rather by the National Commissioner? Because the gist of the bone of contention here centers around a question of acceptance and a question of whether the minister consulted before he took the decision. And the position of the National Commissioner is that he did not accept the decision. That is why I'm saying, when you say the National Commissioner, be specific that at that time the National Commissioner was not in office. So if you received a letter, you did not receive it from Masemula, the current National Commissioner. You received it from a person who was acting at that time. Now, are you not worried that even after the minister came back to work, you gave him a plan and he did not sign it?
Can I return back to the page that I just read, Chair, where the National Commissioner says, I instructed Brigadier Letoko of my office to forward the letter from the minister to all Deputy National Commissioners. This comes now from the National Commissioner. So the fact that he's on leave falls away.
Which letter is that? May you please refer me to a letter? Which annex?
Now it's Madlanga Commission statement on Masemola, page 34.
I don't have a Madlanga document.
Maybe the evidence leader can assist. But the National Commissioner does accede. He says, I instructed Brigadier Letoko of my office to forward the letters from the minister to all Deputy National Commissioners, including Lieutenant General Sibiya Crime Detection, to instruct them to prepare the necessary reports. My intention was to discuss the matter with the minister to understand his reasons and attempt to dissuade him. However, the letter contained an instruction to prepare a report that were due by 20th January. If I had refused to carry out instructions, I would have been accused of insubordination. So, in other words, the National Commissioner agreed, because he says if he had refused, he was going to be accused of insubordination.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm not in possession of that letter. I have an interest of putting my version or my perspective of how I understand it. Unfortunately, I did not make any preparation for such because it is not part of our bundles, Chairperson. Now, do you agree with General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi when he says the disbandment was a missed target?
No.
Can I give you context?
Yes.
He says, in his understanding, the dockets were taken from KZN for the purposes of influencing them for matters of Gauteng. When they arrived in Gauteng, the people who wanted to influence them realized that these are dockets that are only related to matters of KZN, to political killings. So he says the intention to return them back to KZN was as a consequence of the fact that people who took them lost interest out of making a realization that they are not related to Gauteng matters. Do you agree with that?
No, I don't agree. And I must add that the people of South Africa must begin to realize that this is someone playing with people's mind. He's playing the people of South Africa. This has got nothing to do with the people of Gauteng or KZN. Political killing testing from the onset, it is clear it is KZN related. Now, when the matter has been disbanded, it was disbanded and the process started long before than the 6th of March or when they came to Gauteng. Now, as much as he is trying very hard to bring this political killing testing and throw it into the spanner and saying that we have been disbanded because of this is far-fetched. It's not true, and there's nothing like it is a missed target. He's just trying to bring this thing to look for a motive that he can connect to the criminal underworld. But when you look at all of these case dockets, none of them involve Big Five, Katiso Molefe, Ket Matala, Brown Mohosi, or whoever at all. So all I'm saying, Chair, with respect, is that it is not a missed target, and it shouldn't be accepted that everything that General Mkhwanazi says is true. And these are the statements that are to be put before us as if we must accept that it is true, it is not true.
Are you the one who gave an order for dockets to be removed from KZN to Pretoria?
I gave an instruction that the dockets, the two divisional commissioners must exchange the dockets, and then the divisional commissioner of crime intelligence must hand over the dockets to the one of of detectives, and the one of detectives must take them to their stations, murder and robbery unit where they belong, same time, without taking them to head office.
But where did you get the mandate to do that?
From the National Commissioner's instruction that says, communicate, carry on.
Is there any part in his instruction that says take dockets from KZN to where the dockets were taken?
Yes.
May we read it?
Let's go to the meeting of the 6th January, starting from the one in Parliament.
Which annexure?
Let's start, in fact, in Parliament on the 20th, on the 5th of March, where General Khumalo said these dockets, the ministers have given a directive that the political testing be disbanded. And then there's been several meetings since then or subsequently. And then as a result, the dockets will be taken from PKTT to murder and robbery units. This is General Khumalo saying that. And then the following day, in a meeting with the minister, they produce an action plan.
General, the question is, where did you get that mandate? Is General not your junior, General Khumalo?
He is.
So you got a mandate from your junior?
No. It doesn't mean, I don't know, Chair. What I'm saying is simple and straightforward. It's simple and straightforward, and it doesn't confuse. It's straight. There is an instruction, a directive to disband. The National Commissioner says, act on it. They go to Parliament, they say, no, we agree, and we are doing it. And the next thing, they come up with an action plan themselves that disband, and they disband. They say, we will bring the docket on the 17th of March, even though they are handing over on the 28th of March, which happened not under my directive, under the directive of the National Commissioner. Remember, the National Commissioner said, I approved this plan, number one. Number two, the National Commissioner said in one of his statements that I told Sibiya to stop, I will do it myself, and then directed General Khumalo to do it. And he said from then onward, he told them to leave me alone and ignore my communication. And then from there, since then, his communication took precedence. So henceforth, whatever that was happening is the precedence that come as a result of the National Commissioner's instruction. In other words, everything that was happening, flowing therefrom, it was the National Commissioner's instruction. That is why they could come up with their plan that says, on this day, this is what will be happening, and this is what happened.
Yeah, but you were pointing me to a letter with an instruction to take dockets. We're still perusing.
Firstly, let's still start again on the document that I read that says, Minister Mkunu
Which document, General?
this one is a minutes of the meeting on the 27th of 4th, meeting with the minister and the executive meeting. Evidence leader. I'm told. Can I give this man? Whilst he's coming, the minister expressed his concern regarding the political killing task team. He suggested that instead of establishing separate units to focus on different types of matters, the organization should consider establishing a single integrated unit under the umbrella of murder and robbery unit. This unit will operate nationally, ensuring a more streamlined and coordinated approach to address such crimes across the country. And General Masemola responds by saying, he clarified to the minister that the political killing task team is not a formal unit, but rather a task team. He explained that the primary objective of this task team was to evolve into a dedicated murder and robbery unit. As such, it does not appear on the organizational structure, given that it is temporary structure designated for a specific purpose and not a permanent operational unit. Now, we then followed by a work study officer that was approved by the National Commissioner, establishing the specialized unit such as the murder and robbery unit. Now, establishing the murder and robbery unit. So now, the murder and robbery units were established to also take care of cases like political killing task team, which was signed now on the 5th of June. And the National Commissioner's comment says, the National Commissioner says it must be expedited by the Deputy National Commissioner Crime Detection. So all I'm saying is that there's no resistance whatsoever in implementing the specialized unit that must investigate the political killing task team.
Yeah, no, General, I've just read the letter and there's nothing that says General Sibiya take dockets or give an instruction for dockets to be removed from point A to point B. That is what I was looking for.
All right. I want a document, the action plan of the meeting of the 6th of March with the minister, because it says themselves there that the dockets will
be meeting between who and who?
The minister, National Commissioner, General Musigidi, myself, and the Chief of Staff. Page. Now, when you go to page 72 to 79, 79.
2 to 79. 72.
Page 79.
78.
The National Commissioner here says, based on this plan, they then handed dockets to Situmule. Looking at this action plan that, according to the National Commissioner, she and General Musigidi agreed and supported the plan, and I was opposed to the plan together with the minister and the Chief of Staff. But this plan was produced and approved by the National Commissioner. It says, approval of disbandment plan by the Minister of Police is 2025-0306. Stakeholder engagement, and on the 6th of March, the minister actually partly approved the plan, but was just more concerned about the fact that you have now dockets, court-going dockets that are going to take too long. Now, It says stakeholder engagement with NPA, including prioritization of the 114 cases, is the National Commissioner on the 17th of March. Approval of the new call-up instruction and financial authority on 2025-2026, which is the National Commissioner on the 17th of March. Retaining the case dockets under investigation to KZN and Eastern Cape Project Manager, Divisional Commissioner, Detective and Forensic Service on the 17th of March. Provide progress to the Minister, National Commissioner, Deputy National Commissioner, Crime Detection. It will be Project Manager, Divisional Commissioner and Forensic Service on the 31st of March. But to submit a final report, close-up report to the Minister, to be the Project Manager on the 31st of March.
I'm willing to, even though I'm not satisfied with the response that we have given so far, but I think we can move on to another question. But before we move on, even if we don't read the entire letter, just go to a paragraph that says, if there is, that gives you an instruction to take dockets from KZN to Pretoria. I just need that only.
Yeah.
I don't need a context for you to conceptualize and give interpretations of what you understood out of what was written by the commissioner. If there is, unless you are saying we won't find that paragraph, that I can accept. Is there any paragraph that says General Sibiya give an order or give an instruction for dockets to be taken from KZN to Pretoria?
There's no such letter.
There's no such letter.
Even from my side, there's no such letter.
No, I think I'm satisfied. We can move, no, I'm satisfied. We can move to other questions. Now, the PKK, the PKTT chair, are you talking? Okay. Now, the PKTT in question, was this the only PKTT that we had across the country? Was there no any other PKTT that was in existence?
Yes, it was the only PKTT.
So, okay, or task team rather, let me not say, because K stands for killings, and a task team can have various responsibilities. Is that correct? Responsibilities, is that correct?
There were many other task teams.
There were many other task teams. And how many, during this period, how many were disbanded?
There's a letter that we read, the one that disbanded all the task teams because we are reintroducing the specialized unit. And the document specifically talks about, and we read it yesterday, that says, let's go to page 11 of 184. Page 11.
Of your statement or of the bundles?
Of the bundle.
Of the attachments, right? Of the annexures.
Page 11.
Page 11.
Can I proceed?
Page 11?
Yeah, page 11.
Yes, I'm on page 11.
$177.
No, it's not here, General. No, General. Which document are we talking about?
My bundle, I don't know what you call it, Chair, but it is page 177 that talks about
Okay. Yeah, you can proceed, General.
You see, from paragraph 6.4.5.1.
Yes.
Chair, all these are task teams, and they are like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. This is 14 so far that I see. But the sentence that I want to say, task teams that are not monitored run rampant for years without determining or accounting for the gap left where the members were taken from, mostly station level. Task team found operating in provinces are as follows. Then you find your foreign vehicle task team, multiple tour task team. So now the important sentence is this. These task teams should be placed within the murder and robbery unit to capacitate direct focus on a permanent structure with the necessary command and control budget and capability instead of functioning in silos. And it mentions also including political matters team. Now, when you go to the end of this same document, it's a work study that was approved and approved by the National Commissioner. Now, go to page 202. When you go to page 202, the National Commissioner says, implementation of these units must be expedited by DNC crime detection, DIFCOM detectives, and provincial commissioners. Now, DIFCOM, DNC crime detection is me, says implement and expedite the units. And this unit, like such as murder and robbery unit, is meant to investigate political killing task team as well, including your taxi-related killings, including your serial murders, police killings, etc.
Okay. The question was, were there any task teams that were disbanded simultaneously with the KZN1? That was my question. Remember, the KZN1 was disbanded on the 31st by the minister, right? So were there any other task teams that were disbanded during that period of the KZN disbandment?
It was an inspectorate, it was not a task team, but at the same time, in the same meeting, the minister disbanded the inspectorate and the PKTT.
So there were other task teams that were not disbanded?
Yes.
Okay.
Can I?
No, you can respond if you want to say.
Remember that we've got many task teams that are running depending where the fire is. If now there is, we have deployed in Emangozi. I'm sure it's for 3 years now, where people could not even sleep in their houses. Vehicles of South Africa being stolen into Mozambique all the time. Weapons coming into the country, people being terrorized. Emangozi today is very quiet. We deployed there, and then we keep on retaining the members. We've deployed in Richards Bay, and I think the task team has been disbanded, I think. We've deployed in Eastern Cape. There's Operation Bamba and different other task teams that have been established but disbanded because it's only for a short little while to extinguish the fire and then move to another place where there is a crisis. Then we go in there, stabilize the place and move out.
Now, General, the decision to disband was taken by the minister. There's no question about that. Agree? Do you agree with me?
I do.
And in the disbandment, the National Commissioner had no role in the disbandment. Remember, he came after the disbandment.
No. I read this document that I just gave to yourself, Honorable Member, where the National Commissioner said, this is just a task team. It was not meant to be a permanent structure. It is not in the unit, it's not a unit that is in the structure of the police. It can be done. Yes. So he participated.
He participated after the letter was issued.
Even after the letter was issued, he continued to participate.
When you say even, you mean before he participated?
Before and after.
Before, what did he do before?
Before he gave his opinion there. And then during when it was after receiving of the letter, he directed that it be actioned. And then even after that, he participated in all the meetings and he was positive.
Okay, so this paper is part of which document?
These are my notes from the minutes of the meeting, and then we try to get the minutes of the meeting to summon the minutes of the meeting, but we were not given the minutes. But from my own work diary, this is what we have.
So there's nothing to prove at this stage that the minister participated prior, except your notes that you have written.
I'm saying there is everything to prove if the committee can summon the minutes of the meeting, because there's also recordings where the nation commissioner's voice will be heard.
I'm wrapping up, Chair. Am I running out of time? Let me wrap up, Chairperson. I will ask questions which require short answers.
When the robot is read, you don't ask, may I stop?
I didn't see the report, Chair. My apologies. May I wrap up, Chair?
Yeah.
General, what is the SAPS procedure to deport an undocumented person from South Africa, in a nutshell?
Well, the people are taken to Lindela, and the Home Office processes follows, where they begin to interact and with the other country. There's a process where the forms are being completed from the police stations that deports the person.
Were you the member of the DPCI members who were led by Lieutenant Colonel Maluleke, who were implicated in the rendition case?
I was not a member of, I was the deputy provincial head. I was the head of the Hawks in Gauteng, and I was not part of that operation of head office. So I was not part of it altogether.
You were not part?
At all.
You don't even know how it happened, how they were deported?
I never gave anyone instruction. I never participated. It is just one of those incidents that look like this one.
So you don't even know if those undocumented people are in jail or they are out? You have absolutely no?
Absolutely no. And they were all, and for your information, Chair, they were all arrested by crime intelligence. And crime intelligence even gave them the letter of commendation for the job well done. At intelligence, head office. I was in Gauteng. I had nothing to do whatsoever. I never even phoned one person. I never signed any document. I was never at the scene, not even once. My name was just used.
I appreciate your extra time, Chair. No further questions. Thank you very much.
No, you